Title IX. Title IX of the Education Amendments Act of 1972 is a federal law that states, quote, "No person in the United States shall, on the basis of sex, be excluded from participation in, be denied the benefits of, or be subjected to discrimination under any program or activity receiving federal financial assistance." This is a follow-up to the Civil Rights Act of 1964. It was pushed by the National Organization of Women. It was sponsored by Birch Bayh and signed into law by Richard Nixon in 1972. There was a Tower Amendment that tried to exclude athletics, but this was actually defeated. Women's sports in high school and college were the largest impacts. Girls now participate in more than just cheerleading and can play multiple sports. And I basically went to high school in 1975 to 1979, and at that point in time, there was no other sport for girls. There was no other opportunity except for cheerleading. That was it. My wife said at her time in her high school, we had field hockey, but Title IX made it possible for women to play basketball, to play soccer, to play all these other sports. And women's sports have grown tremendously. They've grown in popularity. They've grown there. And I've talked to students and I've talked to people, and if we got rid of Title IX, many of the students feel that everything would be fine. Women's sports wouldn't go away, but I disagree. I don't believe that we would have all the women's sports unless if it was under this law. Now, yes, it has hurt wrestling, and I was a wrestler in high school. It has hurt college wrestling and some of the lower level sports because they have to have women's sports, and it takes away from some of the men's sports, and they can't have all of those. It's also been pretty amazing. There was the Supreme Court case, Morrison versus Virginia, which was the Violence Against Women Act, and that was about rape and doing penalty charges and doing those kind of things. But in general, Title IX has been used very successfully for sexual assault, sexual discrimination against women. So if there's any rape cases or if there's any college cases, it's been basically on colleges where women have used Title IX to actually successfully get their case before a judge or before somebody to actually go after the perpetrators. Sexual harassment and assault are to be listed as sex discrimination under the law, and it's under Title IX. So if women have any issues in college or basically in high school or in anywhere where they're having this issue, Title IX in education is where you would go, not the Violence Against Women Act and the others. Title IX is a landmark law for women's rights in women sports in general, but it's also helped with the cases basically of abuse, rape in college.